Hello everyone, in today's chess video we'll be talking about how you can optimize your study in chess. So how to study properly is our main topic for today. So while studying chess, when I was initially working with beginner students, I was often getting told that people say that we are struggling to remember the opening theory that I have studied. So this is because their study is not taking place in the right and optimized way. So they don't optimize their results. So luckily today I'll be sharing with you some applications, but with the help of those, and these applications can be of great help to address the issue, especially when you use it in the right way. So here I'm going to tell you, you need to know how to optimize your opening study with different applications like Chessbase and Chessable. So heading towards the first point, which is active versus passive learning. So what is active versus passive learning? So let's kick things off by looking at the bit of data gathered from few psychologists and educationist journal, and I'll be showing you some diagram with which will help you to understand that how different types of learning material affect you. So here's the diagram. So on the left side of the board, we have a diagram showing about the passive learning and the active learning. So as you can see, learners retain approximately 5% of what they learn from a non-interactive video or lecture, 10% of what they learn from reading, 30% of what they learn to practice and engage with demonstration, and 50% when they engage in a targeted discussion. 75% when they learn about deliberate practice. The more you play, the more you learn, and 90% when they teach someone else. So as you can see, the single greatest factor for retention, recall, and mastery is the use of an active learning approach when learning a new subject, because you can see that active learning helps about this. So taking this into account, it is clear that if you want to remember opening theory, you have to learn it actively, which takes us to the next point. So always the active learning has three main points. First one is discussion, practice, and and teach others. So if you follow these, then you will learn definitely good. So let's head towards our second point, which is, so the next point in optimizing your study is use some applications like Chessable or Chessbase. So these application has an interactive training system where after learning a specific line, you are asked to make the moves that are over the board, and it asks you to make yourself. Especially when reviewing the material, you are faced with a position and tested or whether or not you can play the correct move. So if you miss a move, you will see what you should have played, along with an explanation of why it was the right approach, and ensure that you don't get some some good answers passively. So application like Chessable and Chessbase also provides the space repetition training for your mastery. It involves reviewing information as increasing intervals of over time. It has some so these applications gamify the learning experience by awarding students with points after each correct move they make. So if you're trying to make it point to the top of the leaderboard, it much easier to do, as I near 1,000-day streak on Chessable where you can solve multiple puzzles and make your streak. So now that you know that how can application like chess.com, Chessable or Chessbase work and why I like them so much, it's time to get your hands and begin the process of studying your openings. So we have our next topic, which is the next point, which is to start. So our third main topic is, if you have you have identified the difference between active and passive learning, and you have the application, now you have to start the process. So by starting the process, the first step is choose your opening which you will play. As a beginner, I usually recommend, and it's a good practice to select one opening for white and one or two openings for black. So this will cover most of your games and optimize your studies, since chess opening theory is incredibly vast and most people with regular jobs or other duties don't have time to learn it all. So nowadays there are a large number of resources available, and I strongly recommend selecting reliable and tested information. So you do that by making sure the content is up to date and is for reputable authors and some tested grandmasters. So if you're struggling with opening to choose, I would suggest some go on the google.com and select some good website and top ranking books of great authors after watching the recommendation from, and you can buy them from the Amazon, and I'll post the link for one or two books in the description. So you can play the Sicilian if you are a aggressive player, or the French in the calmer games, and this will help you a lot. So starting the process will get you what you want. So so there comes a quote that every grandmaster was a beginner. So keep up the process and you will learn much about your opening, and your opening will get stronger. So the next topic comes. The next point after this is prioritizing the right lines. So keep in mind that some opening texts are organized with fluff and low frequency lineups. So identifying uh, some prioritized lining will help you to get what you want. So optimize your studying by prioritizing high frequency lines. So the lines that occur most frequently in your games. So this is another area where Chessbase and Chessable can help. So you can use Chessable's priority lines feature to focus only on variation and more frequency. So if a game has, let's take 1055 variations, uh, and you can learn and practice, only 287 of them are frequently played games online. So let's just say if it has 1,000 variation, then there might be few hundred of high frequency played online. So while you might some here, but you will significantly reduce the amount of material you have to study, and you will still be booked out for most of your games. So this takes us to the next point, which is use your own data when playing. So I play tons of games daily basis, and I don't always have the much time to analyze my game, but most of the time whatever I play, I just try to make it and to explain. So now that you have the resources, that you have the Chessable, or you have learned and followed the whole video and the study material, so it's time to put your knowledge to the test. As soon as you have the working understanding of your opening, begin playing games and play a lot of games. This will test your mastery of what you have studied and build yourself data set for improvement, and keep analyzing those games. So, and there comes like a Gia grandmaster Alexander Kotov once wrote, only a severe self-critical outlook will help a player to assess his strong and weak points, and so further the process of improving his play. So keeping in mind, the best resource for improvement is going to come from your own games, and you're underperforming in certain lines or variations. So this is a starting point for problem solving in order to turn your weaknesses into strengths. So whenever you're playing on chess.com, while analyzing the game, you will see the option Explorer, and if you click on the Explorer, you will see the different games and different variations. So this will help you to identify and analyze your mistakes. So Last but not the least, but there is comes another point I have in mind, and whi- which is a bonus tab is study master games. So this is one of the most important part in chess. So of this video, which is whenever you are free, you should always try and study and analyze the master game which have been played. So in 2023, I have a complete review between Magnus Carlsen and Alireza Firuya. So you should always just go and find the master games, and you will learn a lot. So as this article is aimed at the beginner who wants to start their opening study, here's so the in addition to directly training critical opening lines, the single most rewarding activity for our improvement is game analysis. So if you want so so this will deepen your understanding of your openings, analyze the game of modern players uh, who specialize in playing your opening system. This analysis will give you a better understanding of typical plans and ideas as the game focus directly on the position you play. So always focus on some realizing, learning some other, analyzing some mastery. So with this point, we are heading toward the conclusion, and let's recap one of our main points. So first, we discussed an active learning approach in your chess study is attention for retention is essential for retention and improvement. So the second was pick a opening repertoire that suits your style. Number three, prioritize your opening study based on your frequency variations. Number four, use data for your own games to direct your study to fix problem. And number five, the final step was find specialist players of your opening and analyze the game. So this was one of few points to study the chess openings and improve your study in chess. So I hope to see you in the next video, and thank you so much. And I'll see you in the next.